Okay, time for comedian number 2. I'll wait for 2. All right, this next comedian is also from Chicago. You've seen her here before at A.N.O.C 9. Introducing the beautiful, my girl crush, Lucia Bonifazi.
Damn. These girls have worn more clothes and shoes tonight than I own. So, sorry, I apologize for my voice. It's partially I'm getting over being sick, and partially I thought it was way more important to sing Foreigner's greatest hits on the way out here than to have a good voice to perform for you guys. So that's where my priorities are. I also apologize for my outfit. It seemed like a good idea this morning when I was getting ready for work, but now I'm out of work and I feel like someone who's trying too hard to be Zooey Deschanel. And I looked up how to spell her last name as if you guys were going to like check my notes later and make sure I spelled it right, because it doesn't matter how I say it. On the way over here, I passed a church and school, I think, called Our Lady of Consolation. And I was like, huh, I guess that's where you go if you can't get into Our Lady of Victory. Which is funny, I went to Catholic school as a kid, and so we played all the other Catholic schools, and Our Lady of Victory was just always the shittiest kids, which I thought was funny. I was like, I bet their parents set them there on purpose, like they're all in on some ironic joke. What do you guys want? What should I talk about tonight? Angela was talking about Groupons. I think that Groupons are great. I think that they should offer Groupons to fix the Groupons that you get. Let me explain. So you get a Groupon for like $1 for like 18 pitchers of beer at like a bar. You're probably going to want a Groupon for some Plan B pills. Probably. Or like, you get a Groupon for like $10, you get to go like speed date. I actually saw this one the other day. It was like $17 for speed dating. I was like, I'm probably gonna want a Groupon for some therapy sessions after that one. But they don't offer those, do they? I also noticed I always forget that you can smoke still in Indiana. Not that you can't smoke in Illinois, but you can smoke like anywhere. And I was like, everyone's smoking, and I'm eating a Dum Dum lollipop. So you guys look cool, and I'm gonna get diabetes later. So. Also, did I just see 2 huge pieces of chocolate cake go by? Because I kind of want some. That looked awesome. That looked amazing. So I'm Italian, so my family is just all fucked up, all kinds of fucked up. The stereotypes about Italians are 100% right. We're all crazy, all of us. My dad's the craziest of all, because he's not outwardly crazy, but he should be in therapy. He's like super anxious and super worried all the time. My dad's the kind of person who, like, he's going on vacation, so my family went to Boston a couple weekends ago. My brother bought tickets to a Red Sox Yankees game, and then invited, my sister and my dad and mom to go with him. So it's like half my family, leaving my brother at home by himself, my younger brother, and then I don't live at home, so it was just the 2 of us left in Chicago. My dad calls me the Thursday before he leaves, and he's like super serious. He's like, so you know we're going to Boston, right? I was like, yeah, what do you need me to, like, go check on my brother a little bit? Like, water the lawn, take the dog out? Do you guys need help with anything? He goes, in case the plane crashes and we all die. I left an envelope under my cigar box. It has all the codes to the safe. And he goes on for 20 minutes. Pay off the house, make sure your brother finishes school. Take the things down to the insurance company. I was like, Dad, can you just go watch a fucking baseball game? Like, I feel like when I have a vacation, I'm like, sweet, I don't have to go to work. I can do whatever I want. Let's go get some margaritas. My dad's like, vacation? If I'm not going to be safely nestled behind my desk at work, things might happen to me. Clearly I'm gonna die. He did the same thing before we went to Vegas. I say before we went to Vegas, he sat me down and gave me the same thing, the same spiel. And I was like, Dad, you know I'm going to Vegas too. Like, we're going because my cousin's getting married. And he's like, but we're going on separate planes. So what if my plane goes down and you're still alive? I was like, this is why I'm fucked and I can't, like, I don't ride my bike anywhere because I'm afraid it's gonna get stolen. It's all because of you, Dad. That's what's wrong. The second craziest person, but he's crazy fun, is my uncle. who is just nuts. My aunt, his wife, has read 50 Shades of Grey. Is anyone reading that or has read it? Yeah, a couple ladies. Now, I know that my aunt has read that book, not because she told me, but because for the week after she read it, my uncle was walking around like, dude, the week after she read that book. And I was like, Uncle Ralph, do you even know what this book's about? He's like, I don't give a shit, dude, the week after she fucking read it. And I was just like, this is disgusting. And then he's like sitting down at his 4-year-old's birthday party, by the way, and is like, I'm gonna make a movie, I'm gonna star, you're gonna be in it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you don't know what this fucking book is about. I'm not gonna be in your movie about BDSM. Oh, God. The other thing my uncle did at the same party, before he got there, because he's a cop, so he has to work a lot. Before he got there, my aunt was telling us about some things that they have a little girl and a little boy. Little boy's insane. He's about 5 years old. He had done something wrong, and so his mother had to go in and talk to the teacher and stuff. And what he had done was this. In his classroom, he'd done one of these. Not knowing what it meant. His friend did it and then he was doing it. And he asked his mom later what it meant. And she was like, don't fucking do that. And so, this is before my uncle arrives. My dad, who likes to fuck with my uncle, was like, what did he do, Teresa? What did he do? Tell me what he did. Show me what he did. And my aunt's like, I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to tell you what he did. And he's like, come on, just show me. Just show me. So she shows him. And he's like, I'm going to tell Ralph. And we're like, please don't, because we're like afraid he's gonna murder his son. We like think he's gonna be super upset about it, because that's what happens when children do things in my family, is the men get mad. So the whole party before my uncle comes, my dad's like, I'm gonna tell him, and we're like, please don't. My aunt's like begging, like, please don't tell Ralph. So he gets there, and my dad's just like, hey Ralph, your son did something today. And my aunt's like, Tony, please don't do this. And he's just like, my uncle's like, yeah, what did he do? And he's like, I don't know, why don't you ask your wife? And he's like, just show me what he did. What did he do? And so it just goes back for like 10 minutes until my uncle's like, just show me what he fucking did. And my dad shows him. And my uncle, we're all like sitting there like, oh my God, he's going to flip out. He's going to go nuts. He's going to grab his kid and choke him to death. And instead, my uncle just goes, that's my boy. This is my uncle. This is what I live with. So if anyone later talks to me and then is like, that girl's crazy, this is why. So speaking of being Italian, because we're all crazy, there's like things that we are not allowed to do in my family. One is Facebook. No one is friends with each other on Facebook because it just ends up in arguments all the time. Like my sister is 14. She'll post something like, Justin Bieber, and I'll be like, you're an idiot. And she'll be like, shut up, you're an idiot. And my brother will be like, oh, you're both idiots. And my mom from work will post on Facebook, Alana should be doing her goddamn homework. So this is what happens. My dad has had several sit-down conversations with us about how Facebook is ripping our family apart, so no one can be friends. The other thing that we cannot do in my family is play Disney's Seen It. I don't know if anyone here has ever played that game. This is how it works. There's a game board and a DVD. You take the DVD and stick it in your TV. They play a little scene for you. And then there's like a trivia question. And you're like, oh, it's Cinderella. The mouse was hiding in her shoe. I've never seen so many fist fights break out, you guys, that start with, it was Cinderella, you douchebag. And that was like my brothers playing against my 2-year-old niece. So that's what happens. My mom is absolutely crazy. My mom and I get into fights all the time. Now, my mom is not Italian, but she's Irish, which is almost worse. So we get into fights constantly. Although, because we're all crazy and we fight all the time, we kind of understand that that's kind of what, it's like our MO, you know what I mean? So, fights with my mom will be something like this. Oh, fuck me? Oh, fuck you! And then I hang up, and then 2 minutes later, I'm like, hey, are you going to Aunt Mary's barbecue on Sunday? Because if you guys aren't going to go, then I'm not going to go. It's just like that immediate, 0 to 60, and then back to 0 in like 2 seconds. My mom and I talk about sex. My mom and I are like friends. People are like, you're weird. I'm like, fuck you, you're weird. So my mom and I talk about sex a lot. When I came home for my freshman year of college, my mom had all these questions for me about sex, like, are you interested? Are you doing it? Are you thinking? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of interested. And she starts talking about something that my dad does, and I was like, gross, Mom, I don't want to hear about Dad. And she goes, Lucia, you need to lighten up about sex, or else your husband is going to leave you someday. And I was like, thanks, 1950s housewife. And that's why I'm a slut, you guys. So. That is why I'm a slut. Cool. So, I am the oldest child of 4. A lot of people talk about how being an only child is a really great thing. I think that being the oldest child is better, and here's why. People who are only children are like, oh, well, I had my own shit. Guess what, guys? I had my own shit too. But when I was done using it, I got to break it and get it all dirty and scraped up and then hand it on to people and be like, here, play with this broken doll, little boy. That's what you get now for being the second. So I'm a slut. I've been doing a little dating lately. I'm not really a slut at all. I dress like this. Who's gonna have sex with this? I look like a china, like a porcelain doll. I look like I should be sitting on my grandma's like couch next to a doily is what I look like right now. So I've been trying a little bit of dating and stuff lately, and I've been dating a lot of Jewish guys. I find that as a recovering Catholic, I like dating Jewish guys. Here's why. One is because Jewish guys have this thing where they're just apologetic all the time about everything. And one time I was like, my ex-boyfriend was like trying to, we were in a fight about whether he should come to a comedy show or go to a Seder. So you know who had the upper hand of that relationship. At one point he was like, babe, I'm Jewish, so I need to be told what to do by a woman. And I was like, well, babe, I'm Catholic, so clearly my body needs to be controlled by a man. And now I know who reads the news. So, the other reason that I like dating Jewish guys is because it leads to all kinds of awesome role-playing. For instance, sometimes when you're with a Jewish guy, you can play Spanish Inquisition, and that's where I withhold sex until he converts to Catholicism. And sometimes he gets me to go down on him by offering me some of his Jew gold, so that's cool. Which exists, you guys. That totally exists. There are times when you're with someone that they're kind of feeling sexy and you're kind of not. Especially as a woman, like, it's that time of the month, you don't really want to be doing that. But I feel like I should let guys know. Like, I feel guilty about it, and I wouldn't want to be led into that situation, because gross. So, but I try to tell them, but you know, I'm like, I was raised a certain way, so I can't just be like, I'm on my period. Like, that's gross to me, so I have to like go this roundabout way to explain it. This one time, I sat a guy down and I was like, so, you know, sometimes when you're a woman, and there's something that happens once a month, and sometimes you're totally prepared for it and it's cool, and sometimes you're not at all prepared for it and you're like, shit, what am I gonna do? This guy thought I was trying to tell him that I couldn't pay my rent that month, and he actually offered me a rent check, which was cool, and I took it because I'm not an idiot. I got an email on the way here, because I was like, oh, I'm going through and trying to like cut down my budget, so I got rid of Netflix. I just got an email from them on the way down here, actually, that said, come back to Netflix, now only $7.99 a month. And I was like, this is excellent marketing. I should do this with all my ex-boyfriends. Start sending them emails that are like, come back to Lucia now, with 20% more blowjobs and 75% less looking at your Facebook wall and asking you who that bitch is. Yeah. I've been doing a lot of online dating. It's working out okay for me. I started with Match.com, so my friend talked me into it. So I paid for, 3 months or whatever. So you have to pay for that site. You pay for Match.com. It didn't really work out, so I moved to OkCupid because that's free, which is better for my bank account. If OkCupid does not work for me in the future, I'm going to move to SugarDaddy.com, and that's where I will get paid to go on dates, and then have a humongous orgasm once I get my student loans paid off. That's all I want. I'm actually going to date these guys. That's how, you don't have to like date an asshole for him to pick up the check, Angela. You just gotta date a guy who could be your father, because then it's like, I have to pick up this check or else I'm a complete asshole. I was talking to my mom about dating. She doesn't understand. I'm like, you dated the guy, or you married the guy you started dating when you were like 16, Mom. Oh, sorry. I'm like walking around pacing. She like doesn't understand dating. Like, she never did that whole thing. So I was thinking about how different dating is now, like for me, than it was for my mom. But think about, guys, how different dating was back in like Civil War times, when there were like dudes at the front who were writing letters that were like, "Oh, my dearest, like Celia, I miss the way that your hair shines in the moonlight in our veranda." I don't even know what the hell they had back then. And but now it's like I just get a text message from a dude that's just like, "Lucia, show me a picture of your tits," which I think is better, you guys. I'm a modern woman. I don't have time for moonlight in my hair and verandas and fancy shit. I just want to be able to show a guy my boobs and get a free meal. And if it doesn't work, I mean, maybe it works out. We go home and have some sex. If the sex isn't good, I'll go home and masturbate because I'm modern, you know? That's what happens. I'm modern. I can do that. Does anybody here have a smartphone? Anybody? iPhones or anything? Stuff that is smarter than you? My phone's smarter than me. My friend, first, before I get into this joke, I'm pissed. My friend was like, talked me into password locking my phone last night. And now it takes me like 3 seconds longer to do everything. I almost crashed a million times because I had to be like, I can't see it. Like I can type, I can text without looking at my phone. But I don't know my password yet, so I have to like look at where the dots are. It's annoying. Don't password protect your phone. Fuck it. If someone steals your phone, they deserve to have what's in it. That's what I say. Anyway, so smartphones, if you notice, your phone over time will learn from you, like what you type. So my phone, this is just a little glimpse into my language. I'm sure you've already seen. My phone has started autocorrecting duck into fuck, which is helpful for me when I'm typing things. Until I accidentally text my dad that I just had the best fuck ever in Chinatown. And then he's like, "You did what in Chinatown?" I thought you had a boyfriend. I'm like, whatever, he doesn't like that, so. You guys, I'm getting to that age where people are getting married that I know, and dudes are having bachelor parties, and there's bachelorette parties. And when I was like little and you would hear about bachelor parties, it was just women complaining because like, you just went to a guy's basement, or maybe a strip club, and had some boobs in your face, and then the next day you got married. And that's like what it was. And now it's like a week of craft beer tasting, and whitewater rafting, and quality dude time. Which is boring to me. So, I know it's like, oh, you're never going to see him again. But you're never going to see him again anyway, so go get some tits. And bachelorette parties are the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. And here's why. Because the whole, like, you're going out and getting drunk with your girlfriends. And the whole point of going out and getting drunk with your girlfriends is so that at the end of the night you find someone to take home and you get laid. But I'm figuring if I'm getting married, then I've either already accomplished that or I'm soon going to be too rich to care. So what does it matter, you guys? You know what I mean? One of the guys that I dated, one of the Jewish guys I dated, was in law school at University of Chicago. St. Patrick's Day, I went to a party with him, and they're kind of like, it got real bro-y. They're frat guys. They're like frat law school guys. And so, of course, everyone progressively got more drunk, and then shirts came off, and everyone was covered in dirt, because they decided it'd be a good idea to wrestle in the backyard. And you might be asking yourselves, she looks like Zooey Deschanel. Why would she go to a party like that? And here's what I say to that. Did you guys miss the part where I said University of Chicago Law School? Because I don't care what these guys do to each other when they're drunk, as long as I have a wedding ring on my finger in a couple of years. I want to go, I don't know about you guys, but I want to go as quickly as possible from point A, which is this moment right here, to point B, which is at home on my ass eating bonbons. And I don't even like bonbons, you guys, so it's hard work for me. That's going to be hard work for me. None of you guys believe that, because that's not how I actually am. My friend was like, "Why do you tell that joke? That's not how you are." And I'm like, "I'm trying a different character. I don't know." So good. Don't laugh at me when I'm lying. Let's see, what else? I saw a movie recently, a documentary called Orgasmic Birth. And this is a documentary that's trying to make birth more acceptable to women, more like they want to go through it, not something they fear. And I can only imagine It's orgasmic birth, so they're trying to, I don't even know what they're trying to do. But I can just imagine like Lamaze classes with like ball gags and what kind of conversations is this gonna lead to? Like you're sitting there with little Jimmy and you're like, little Jimmy, you gave mommy the best birth of her life. Let me tell you. You know? And like, and I don't want my mom to like have an orgasm when she has me, because then it's like, that's already the payoff. You know, I want her to have like pain and suffering, so there's like sunken costs, and she's like, I put time and effort and pain into this, so I'm gonna make sure this thing doesn't die, not like treat me like a one-night stand and be like, oh, that was great, see you later. Just leave me at the hospital. So that's what I do with all my one-night stands, I leave them at the hospital. Because they probably have a disease. I'm a slut, you guys. So I was thinking the other day about my friend was like, if you were gonna kill yourself, how would you do it? And number one, I've never thought about this because I'm terrified of dying. So if I were gonna, like, if I got to like the absolute like bottom desperate point of my life where I was like, this sucks, I can't deal with this shit anymore, I need to die. God, can I please just get cancer or something? Like, I can't do it. I can't shoot myself in the head. I'd pray, like, to have a car run me over so that I didn't have to do it myself. Or, like, an alien attack. That'd be awesome. Because then I wouldn't have to go to work, which is the whole reason that I probably hate myself anyway. I hate my job, you guys. Actually, I don't. I work for the ballet, and it's super fun, and everyone's gay. It's like, I work basically for the Pride Parade is what I work for. There's just glitter horses, and, this is my job. My boss, the other day, we did a Christmas in July campaign, and he was like, well, get one of the dancers in a bikini down on the beach. And they were like, well, we can't do that because their union won't let us. And he goes, all right, well, go get Lucia and put her in a bikini down on the beach. I swear to God, I have a master's degree, you guys, but there are pictures of me all over Chicago in a bikini next to a little boy dressed up as a gingerbread man. This is my fucking life. It's awesome. So, since I'm at the bottom of my plate, I'm going to just talk about my dreams, you guys. I have a dream that one day I will end up at an episode of Intervention. And this is why. Because after you fuck your life up that badly, and then fix it up that well, I don't think you're expected to do much the rest of your life. It's like you go to work and your boss is like, hey, Lucia, you never got me that report. I'll be like, yeah, you know what, sir? I did never get you that report, but you know what else I didn't do? I didn't give a homeless man a hand job in the alley for some heroin this morning. So why don't you cut me some slack? I'm a recovering addict, and all of your reports and your questions are pushing me closer and closer to relapse. So maybe you should think about that before you come up to me. And then I think they have to give you like a raise or something, right? After that. My favorite, you know what's funny about that though? Is that they talk about overdosing all the time. There's no fucking dose of heroin, is there? It's not like, you guys, my doctor said I should only have one heroin a day. Or like, I should probably eat some food with this heroin. You guys, like, my stomach's feel a little weird after that heroin. I should have a slice of bread. My favorite episodes of Intervention, you guys, are the eating disorder ones, because I like my shit real. And I saw this one time where this girl had she just tasted things, she didn't actually ingest them. So she had a whole closet full of food, like Oreos and cakes and shit, that was just for chewing. And then she would like lean over this little cup and like spit it out. And I was like, I know someone else who does that. And I was thinking and thinking and thinking, and then it came to me. Cookie Monster does that shit all the time. He never actually ingests any of the cookies he puts in his mouth. I think it's funny though, these parents were all up in arms about all he eats is cookies. I was like, he doesn't eat anything. He's an anorexic, that Cookie Monster. You should be thanking him for teaching your children valuable lessons about medicating with food and denial and all kinds of shit. Yeah. So I'll leave you guys with this. So, sex, right? Sorry, I feel like I'm dying. So my dad, I don't know when this happened, but my dad switched, like when you're a Catholic little girl, you're gonna become a nun. That's it. That's the only thing that you can do with your life is be a nun. And then my dad, somewhere in the last few years, I can't pinpoint it, switched from you're never having sex say, hey, speaking of babies, when are you going to have some? And, but I don't want any babies at all. So all of my sex is heavily guarded, just heavily protected, all of it. And why don't I want to have any babies? Because, number one, because it's a job. I mean, you go through 9 months of hell. I've never had a kid, but I can only imagine it's hell. And then at the end of that, it's not like someone gives you a prize. You have a thing that you have to take care of now. Like, you have to make sure it doesn't die. If I could give birth to, like, a maple bacon donut, I get pregnant all the time. I get pregnant 12 times right now. I have a dozen babies. If I could give birth to, like, the new iPhone, I would have gotten pregnant months ago. If I could give birth to a lake house, I'd get pregnant tonight. So if anyone has any lake house sperm, you can meet me outside. Let's do this. But I don't want any babies. So I use birth control. And I don't use any Nuva rings or anything, because that shit looks like witchcraft to me. There's a hole in it. I don't think that does anything. So I take the pill. You have to take it every day. Sometimes I forget. So I use Facebook as birth control reminder. Ladies, this is how you do it. You get a bunch of friends and or family that have babies. And then anytime you see a post about their stupid babies, you remember to take your birth control. And I don't stop at just one. I take one pill for every post I see. So I take like a month's worth of birth control in an hour on Facebook. It's like, oh, Jill's baby's walking now. Oh shit, I didn't take my pill this morning because I don't want shit walking around inside me or around me. Anyway, you guys. My name is Lucia. You guys have been amazing. Have an awesome night.